What if I told you that right now, in this very moment, your relentless drive to be productive might actually be the thing slowly destroying your mind? Sounds dramatic, right? But here's the truth. Over 77% of Americans report experiencing burnout, yet most don't even realize it. Let that sink in. The very thing we're told will give us success, grinding, hustling, pushing through the fatigue, is now classified by the World Health Organization as a global occupational phenomenon. And yet, burnout is often invisible. You don't collapse at your desk. You don't faint in a meeting. Instead, it sneaks up quietly, a little more tired every morning, a little more irritable, a little less connected to your work, your loved ones, and yourself. And here's the most terrifying part. Most people think this is normal, that feeling of exhaustion. Oh, it's just the cost of ambition. That Sunday night anxiety. Well, that's just adulthood. But what if I told you it's not normal, it's not healthy, and it's not the price you have to pay to be successful? In fact, it's the price you pay when you've been trapped by the productivity addiction. Today, I want to pull back the curtain and show you what's really going on beneath the surface. Because whether you realize it or not, this addiction is changing your brain, hijacking your nervous system, and draining the very life out of you. But here's the good news. Once you see it, you can stop it. So before we go further, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel if you're committed to living with purpose, not just productivity, and share this video with that friend who's always too busy, but secretly on the edge of collapse. This could be the wake-up call that saves their mental health, or maybe even their life. Let's get into it. Let's start with a hard truth. Most of us are not working more because we love what we do. We're working more because we're afraid of what will happen if we stop. In psychology, this is known as productivity anxiety, the fear of being perceived as lazy, unworthy, or falling behind if we're not constantly producing. But here's the hidden layer. Your brain is literally being rewired for this addiction. Every time you finish a task, your brain releases a tiny hit of dopamine, the reward chemical. You feel good, briefly, but like any addict, soon you need another hit, and another, and another. Suddenly you're not working because you want to. You're working because you're chasing the next dopamine spike. This is what neuroscientists call a reward prediction error. Your brain predicts the reward of being productive. But when the satisfaction doesn't last, you feel empty. So you push harder, work longer, sleep less, until exhaustion feels like your default state. Sound familiar? This is not just a metaphor. Studies from Harvard Medical School show that chronic overwork elevates cortisol levels, your stress hormone, while simultaneously lowering your brain's ability to regulate emotion and attention. The result? Increased anxiety, decreased focus, emotional numbness. You're not becoming more productive, you're becoming a high-functioning burnout victim, and society praises you for it. Think about it. When someone says, "I've been so busy," we often respond with, "Wow, that's great." But is it really? Or is it a symptom of a deeper cultural illness? This is the productivity trap. You feel you can't stop, but stopping feels like failure. And the more you push, the more your identity becomes fused with how much you get done. You stop being you, and you become a human doing instead of a human being. Before we continue, if this is resonating with you, drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever felt trapped by your own need to be productive? Let's open up this conversation, because the first step to healing is realizing you're not alone. Let's be brutally honest. When was the last time you spent time with your loved ones without checking your phone, without thinking about that project, that deadline, that never-ending to-do list? If you're like most people, especially in America, you don't even remember. Here's why. The culture of overwork doesn't just steal your time, it steals your presence. And presence is the foundation of all meaningful relationships. Think about this. When your mind is constantly consumed by productivity, you're not really with your partner, your kids, and your friends. You're physically there, but emotionally absent. Psychologists call this absentee presence. Your body is in the room, but your mind is stuck in the office. And the people you love, they feel neglected, disconnected, unimportant. Over time, relationships weaken, trust erodes, and loneliness sets in. Not because you don't care, but because you've been taught that your worth is defined by your work. Let's take this deeper. Health-wise, the consequences are catastrophic. The American Institute of Stress reports that 77% of people experience stress that affects their physical health. 73% report stress impacting their mental health. Why? Because constant productivity keeps your nervous system locked in sympathetic mode, fight or flight. You wake up stressed, you eat stressed, you even try to relax, stressed. Your body never fully shifts into parasympathetic mode, the state of rest, digestion, and healing. And over time, this creates chronic fatigue, weakened immune system, anxiety disorders, depression. It's not just about being tired. It's about being fundamentally depleted, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And here's the kicker. The more depleted you feel, the more you believe you need to work harder to compensate, fueling the very cycle that's destroying you. This is what we call the productivity death spiral. You can't win because the system is designed for you to burn out and blame yourself. But let me be clear, it's not your fault. It's a cultural narrative that has told you since childhood that rest is laziness, slowing down is weakness, productivity equals value. But guess what? That narrative is a lie. You are not a machine. You are not a robot designed to optimize output. You are a human being who deserves rest, connection, and joy. If this is hitting home, pause for a second and share this video with someone you know is caught in this same trap. Let's spread awareness, because sometimes the biggest act of courage is to choose to stop. So what do you do when you realize you've been living like a machine? How do you break free from a mindset that's been programmed into you since childhood? It starts here. Awareness is not enough. Transformation only begins when awareness becomes action. So let me guide you step by step through a proven process to break the addiction to productivity and finally reconnect with what actually matters. Step 1, redefine your worth. This is the hardest part because it goes deep. You've been taught your worth turn your output, but that's not true. Your worth is inherent. You don't need to earn it. You were born with it. Take 1 minute right now and say this to yourself out loud. I am valuable even when I rest. I am enough without achieving anything today. Feel uncomfortable? Good. That's your programming fighting back. But every time you say it, you're rewriting that script. Step 2. Schedule stillness like a meeting. Let's be real. If it's not on your calendar, it won't happen. So block 15 minutes a day for non-productive time. No phone, no agenda, no guilt. Just you sitting, breathing, being. This stillness isn't a luxury, it's medicine. Your brain needs space to process, recharge, and create. Neuroscientists call this the default mode network. The part of your brain that activates during rest and is responsible for insight, creativity, and emotional regulation. No stillness, no clarity. No clarity, no peace. Step 3. Practice enoughness. Set boundaries around your productivity. Try this exercise. At the end of the day, write down what I did today that mattered, what I did that was enough, and then stop. No more emails, no more just one more task. Close the loop. Because success without boundaries becomes slavery. Step 4. Reconnect with real life. Talk to someone you love, without distraction. Cook a meal slowly with music on. Take a walk with no destination. These aren't breaks from life. They are life. And the more you engage with them, the more you remember who you were, before the noise, before the hustle, before you were taught to prove your worth with performance. Here's what's wild. You can be ambitious, you can be driven, and still choose to rest. In fact, the most successful people in the world are those who master the art of recovery. They know, if I don't protect my energy, I can't protect my purpose. So now, I ask you, what would your life look like? If you didn't need to prove anything anymore, imagine waking up not with a checklist of tasks, but with a sense of grounded purpose, that life exists. And it starts with one simple decision, to stop chasing and start living. If this message speaks to you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone you love. Let's build a world where people are allowed to rest without guilt, Because when you rest, you rise. Here's the truth most people never hear. You don't have to earn your right to rest. You don't need permission to pause. The culture told you that success is about constant hustle, about never stopping, about proving yourself over and over again. But what if real success is about wholeness, about waking up each day connected to yourself, your values, and your purpose, instead of trapped in a cycle of exhaustion? So it's time to rewrite the definition. Success is not about how much you produce, it's about how deeply you live. It's about having time to breathe, feeling at peace in your own skin, enjoying moments that don't make it to your LinkedIn bio, but make it into your heart. And here's the paradox. When you stop trying to prove yourself all the time, you become more productive, but from a place of alignment, not anxiety. So today, as you finish this video, I want you to ask yourself one final question. What kind of life am I building? And for whom? Let it sink in. Because every yes you say, every task you accept, every project you commit to, it's all building something. Make sure it's building your life, not just fulfilling someone else's expectations. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs this message. Let's spread this revolution together. And remember, rest is not weakness, it is wisdom. Take care of yourself. You're worth it. Just habits. One habit can change everything.